This time we will discuss uniformly loaded cable. Uniformly loaded cable, that means I have a cable, and in this cable I have only uniformly distributed load. So when it is possible, typically if my load is self weight, if only the self weight of the cable, there is no other load, then it is called uniformly loaded. The common electric power supply line, whatever the cable you see, it is uniformly loaded because it has only the self weight, and self weight is obviously uniformly distributed. So that kind of cable. Other kind of cable, maybe say I have a cable supported. I have so many load. I have so many load and closely spaced. If I have so many load closely spaced and all the loads are equal, then I can consider it uniformly distributed cable also. But again, this is not so practical, or you didn't see it. So this is most common. The electric or the power supply line, the cable has only the self weight, and the cable looks like this. There is a deformation or deflection. Okay, so in this cable, this length, the horizontal length, again, this is not the cable length. Cable length is this. Cable length is this. It is not the cable length. So cable length is this. Typically we call it AS, or whatever you call it, doesn't matter. But so cable length is this. Again, we are not talking about cable length, we are talking about span, the horizontal distance. If L is your this span, and the maximum deflection is called sag, at the middle of the cable is called sag. And if your load W is in kip per feet or pound per feet, that means uniformly distributed. If it is the case, okay, so we are not using this cable length. Okay, then we can find the maximum tension in this cable is by this equation. So maximum deflection or maximum tension occurs at the support here and here. So our T max occurs here at the support. If the problem asks what is the tension at the support, then you will mean that it is the maximum one. So we can find it using this equation. The minimum, or FH means horizontal. The minimum occurs at the middle where it is horizontal. I have only horizontal, that means this force or this force is called FH, and this is also the minimum force. The minimum force in a cable occurs at the middle, and the value is W square by 8H. So hopefully you understood the theory. Now we can derive this equation. So in this video I am not deriving, I am just checking the handy equation. Okay, so if you want to see an example, say, okay, I will, okay, if the problem is there is a cable, say this cable say 1200 feet, and the maximum sag say 20 feet, and the load here say 5 kip per feet. What is T max? What is T min? Simple is, if this is the case, so this will be 5 kip per feet, L will be 1200 feet, L will be 1200 feet, H will be 20 feet. So everything is in kip per feet, feet. So your answer will be in kip. So same thing here. If the question asks what is the minimum, then W will be 5 kip per feet, L will be 1200 feet, H will be 20 feet. Feet cancel, and then feet cancel another feet. So again the answer will be in kip. So I think that you can solve this problem. There is nothing big here. Is straightforward. As long as you know the equation, is done. But something to let you know that some book use L as half of this. Some book use that. If they use that, their equation will be different. But again, if you use different book, you should be familiar with this. Here, in this the book that I am following, it uses the entire span as L. So do not make this mistake. Even in your exam, if you find a cable and this portion is given 300 feet, that means your L is 600. That is something to remember. Okay, so something more discussion. There might be different problem that they may give you the Tmax, that the allowable or the maximum capacity of this cable is this. What is the maximum span possible? If this is the case, that means this is given, you have to find your L. Just solving mathematical problem. Okay, if I delete it, I mean, so if the problem give you the allowable, the W and the Ace, then they can ask you find the maximum span possible. Then you have to solve this. It's a difficult process, difficult mathematics. The problem may give you the allowable or the capacity of the cable, distributed load, the span, what is the maximum sag. Then simply it is just solving this equation, nothing else. It is just a mathematics. So your concept here, I think it is clear now. Thank you. In the next video, I will discuss another kind of cable. We'll see you then.